Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the importance of skin to skin and why I did it. This video was requested and I thought that it was a great idea. So before I talk to you about skin to skin, I just wanted to really quickly say that I have missed you guys so much. I've missed interacting like this and just having a conversation on a more personal level. I've been a little overwhelmed. Benicio has gone through a growth spurt. What these last couple of weeks had made me realize that more than anything, the reason why I love making these videos are to exchange information and just knowledge and experience. I think it's so important to just empower each other as women, as mommies, as makeup lovers, as whatever. I also just want to say thank you to everyone. I just really feel like I'm developing this beautiful relationship with you all, and I'm really appreciative of it. Thank you so much for your suggestions on any problems that I'm trying to overcome, and thank you just for sharing your stories. I can't express how much closeness I feel with you all. I just feel like we're friends, and I just want to say thank you so much for allowing me to be part of your life, and I appreciate you being part of my life. So as I mentioned, this was a video that was requested, which I thought was really interesting because I never really thought to talk about it, but it is extremely important, and that is skin to skin with your child. I want to start from the very beginning in terms of my experience and say that my mom had an emergency cesarean. I was almost dead, so I was immediately whisked away. I never had skin to skin with my mom. I do have to say, just speaking candidly, that there is a big disconnection in our relationship, and I don't want to say that it all has to be attributed to not having skin to skin, but I am a strong believer that however your relationship commences with anybody, whether it's a friend, a lover, your child, that those are patterns of how your relationship will move forward. That's not to say that you can't work through something and change things, because you definitely can, but I just wanted to share that I don't have a strong connection with my mother. And there are hundreds of studies that show that if your child doesn't have skin to skin, there's a correlation between your child feeling detached, not belonging to something, does poorly in school, and is also susceptible to depression. These are studies, and we could say it's a coincidence all day long, but this is definitely the case in my personal experience. I found out about this when my sister was pregnant with my niece, and I was so excited that my niece was coming into this world. I began to do some research, and I came across an article explaining the importance of skin to skin and what that does with our relationship with our children and our relationship with our parents. So when I started to take a close look and learn about all of these studies, my relationship with my mom made perfect sense, and then also my relationship with my daughter made sense. A lot of you might not know, a lot of you are newly subscribed to the channel. I am a teen mom. I have a 21-year-old daughter. I'll link that story in the description bar below. I was interviewed in a podcast about a year ago where I talk really intimately about this story. I do have to warn you, it's extremely emotional and there is a lot of crying involved. Skin to skin was the driver of a lot of my research on giving birth to a child and the rights you have as a mother and empowering yourself. It also helped that one of my best friends, Benicio, who I talk about all the time on this channel, she empowered herself and educated herself and gave me permission to do the same for myself. And I hope that I give you the permission to do the same for yourself today, because I feel like a lot of the times when we're in a situation like giving birth and we're surrounded by doctors or just people that have expertise in a certain area, we sometimes feel like we're not smart enough to suggest or take control of a situation, even though it's our own situation. I came up with a very elaborate birth plan. I researched all the hospitals where I could possibly have my son, and the hospital that I chose was a hospital that I knew was going to respect my birth plan. A lot of people might laugh at a birth plan, but I don't really think it's a laughing matter. I think it's actually really important, and I would encourage you to look into having a birth plan on how much doctors and nurses will respect your wishes and your birth plan. Sometimes it doesn't even matter what the hospital rules are. When I would reiterate my birth plan during my delivery with Benicio, my son, my nurses would say, well, it's on your birth plan, so I guess you can do it, even though internally they disagreed with some of the decisions that I had made on my birth plan. They just kind of like, well, it's on your birth plan. Like, their hands were tied. And I was so grateful that I had empowered myself in that way. So I had a lot of details in my birth plan. If you guys want to hear a video about my birth plan, leave a comment below and we can go through my birth plan. My rule was that I was to immediately have skin to skin. He was never to be taken away from me, ever. Meaning that as soon as he came out of me, he was to be immediately placed onto my skin and never to be removed from there for 2 hours. In the event that I did have a cesarean, then he was still to be placed on me for skin to skin. And my doctors were going to honor that. There's emergencies, you know, for example, in my case when I was born, where I was about to die and the doctors had to do everything they could to keep me alive. There are certain cases like that, but then you can write, you know, as soon as the baby is okay, I need to have skin to skin. I mean, there's things that you can work around. Hospitals are honoring skin to skin more and more just because studies are showing that this is the best thing we could do for our children. I'm going to get more detailed and go into specific benefits of having skin to skin. And I have notes here, so I apologize for looking down. These are some of the benefits to having skin to skin. The first one is that when the baby comes immediately out of the uterus and onto your skin, the bacteria on your skin colonizes the baby, as opposed to the baby being colonized by bacteria in an incubator or anywhere else. So that's really important because it helps prevent allergic diseases. It also helps baby to adapt. I think sometimes a lot of information can be really common sense if we really just stop to think about it. This child was in the womb for 9 months. He or she is coming out of the womb and into a completely different atmosphere. There has to be a level of shock. A way to help minimize this shock is to naturally hold and protect your baby. Because your skin offers the same temperature that the baby had inside the womb, it makes it easier for the baby to transition out of the womb and into the environment that he or she is being currently exposed to. It helps boost baby's mental development. I kind of touched on that earlier. There are studies that show that if babies don't have skin to skin, they're more likely to do poorly in school and in life. And the reason behind that is because it stables the baby's heart rate, it provides oxygenation, and it also improves their sleeping. And with all of these elements combined, it allows for a baby's brain to develop easier and faster. And as we already know that the first years of a baby's life are detrimental to their development, that is then reflected for the rest of their lives. Skin to skin also promotes healthy weight, and the reason behind that is because babies burn calories to try and regulate their body temperature, but if they have skin to skin, then they can use that energy to grow. Benicio was born at 6 pounds, which is more on the smaller side. It's still normal. He did lose 11% of his body weight, which was really unfortunate due to my milk not coming in and having some issues in the beginning. We did practice skin to skin and he gained 4 pounds in the first month, which is pretty much unheard of. Normally, babies gain about 2 pounds in a month. Skin to skin does make breastfeeding easier. Babies are unbelievable. Our bodies are unbelievable. Instinctively, if you place a baby right after being born on your lower abdomen, the baby has the skill to crawl up to your breast, smell out which one has the most milk, crawl over to that breast and feed himself or herself. You obviously have to be patient because it takes them a while to sort of scooch up to the breast. It kicks in a natural instinct of an infant. So if you don't have skin to skin, you sort of rob them of that first initial step. Skin to skin does help you make more milk. There are hormones that regulate lactation, balance your body out, and in turn help you to produce more milk. Skin to skin reduces stress and pain. So what it does is essentially calm a baby down because it produces oxytocin and just helps the baby relax into its natural environment, the environment that the baby should be in. I swear by this. Even though he did have colic, he was not fussy. I could tell that he was suffering from colic because he would spit up and he would get like pushy. As soon as he would do that, get him naked down to his diaper and just have skin to skin, and that would immediately calm him down and his whole demeanor would change. My demeanor would change. Babies having skin to skin with their father is very important. I didn't even think about that. I don't know why I thought that it was something that specifically belonged to mothers. We really don't talk about it, but it is really important for the father to have skin to skin with your baby. On my birth plan, that was a specific rule that Benicio would be with me skin to skin 2 hours. After those 2 hours, then they would go ahead and do everything the doctors needed to do, which would be weigh him, put medicine over the eyes, etc. And then immediately after that, the instructions were to have skin to skin time with dad for an hour. It creates an immediate bond, not only from father to child, but from child to father. I sort of feel like that solidifies the entire family. It's proven that if you have skin to skin, there are bonds that are unbreakable. Just to add on that, remember that if for whatever reason you can't have skin to skin immediately after giving birth, that's okay. You can have it as soon as your baby's placed in your hands. The next day, the day after that, my fiance would have skin to skin with my son on a regular basis, and I would do the same as well. So there's always an opportunity for skin to skin. My daughter actually, she asked if she could have skin to skin with Benicio, and they did, and I thought it was absolutely beautiful. I think if you want anyone to have skin to skin that you're really close to is wonderful. A grandparent. Skin to skin is also known to help prevent postpartum depression, and it helps lessen any anxiety they might be feeling, just because again you have that powerful oxytocin that's releasing when you're having skin to skin. So those are just some of my favorite benefits of skin to skin. Empower yourself and let the doctor and nurses know when you're going into delivery what your wishes are. So I hope that this was helpful. If you have any suggestions for any videos, please leave it in the comments. If you liked the information in this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, then please do so. I make mommy videos where I just exchange information, and then I also have a passion for makeup, so I do makeup videos. I do want to address that I had mentioned before that I wanted to do this whole schedule where I was going to do mommy videos on Wednesdays and makeup videos on Mondays. I do want to take that statement back and really apologize. It's just really challenging when you have an infant to try to place yourself on a filming and an editing schedule, because he's going through changes and growth spurts and all kinds of things, and I'm trying to keep up with him, and sometimes it's really impossible. Editing takes a long time, filming takes time, getting ready to film takes time. I'm gonna go back to trying to get at least one video up a week. Sometimes it may be a makeup video, sometimes it may be a mommy video, and if I have a lot of time, then maybe it'll be a makeup video and a mommy video. Thank you so much for your patience, and I love you guys. Make it an amazing day. You guys, I have this bodysuit over shorts. So funny. I'm not going to show you. I know you want to see, but I'm not going to show you.
Do you go with nude bodysuit because it's skin to skin?
You got that?
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone else is going to see how cheeseball I am.